Hello, my name is Brandon Sheridan, and today I'm going to present my adaptation of the play Antigone. Antigone, written by Sophocles, has greatly survived over many years because the themes that are presented are still very relevant to this day. However, I do believe that the world has changed since the story was written, and some things could be changed to make it a little more relatable for the modern viewer. This is what I decided to do. In this presentation, I'll be showing you an adapted story based on the play Antigone, and I'll be pointing out what I felt should be changed, added, or simply removed in order to give it a more modern context. Basically, my story consists of a woman who used to always go on vacation to this wonderful bungalow when she was younger. This place had a lot of sentimental value to her because she made a lot of memories there. One day, she heard that the land was for sale and a businessman was planning to buy it. The man wanted to tear down the home to make room for a business building. Of course, the woman didn't want this because she felt that she needed to represent the old home where she made the memories. An anonymous buyer then came into the equation and tried to compete with the businessman. The businessman became furious because he was about to close the deal. We eventually figure out that the anonymous buyer is the woman, and that in the end neither the woman nor the businessman get a hold of the bungalow. I will now show more in detail what exactly I feel has changed from the Antigone play to my adaptation. First of all, we have the war setting in the beginning of the play. I felt like although war is still present in some countries, it didn't fit and isn't as relatable for the type of viewer I had in mind. Because of this, we also see that in my adaptation, the woman doesn't have any brothers, and it's not the relationship that the main character has with her family that initiates the plot. Instead, it's the sentimental attachment that the character has with the vacation home. This allows me to focus a little bit less on death and rather more realistic things that happen in our everyday life. A big part in the play has to do with Antigone being a woman. I wanted to keep this part in my adaptation because gender equality is still a problem today and the message of a strong woman can still be related to. I chose to make the woman the anonymous buyer for two reasons. The first one, I would probably show in my adaptation that the woman might feel like she wouldn't be taken seriously if people knew she was a woman. This is represented in the play when Creon is in disbelief because the thought does not cross his mind that a woman would stand up in such a way. For the second reason, I wanted an anonymous buyer because when we first find out that someone has unburied the body, it becomes a mystery of who did it. And I feel like anonymous people are always a big mystery of finding out who it is. As for the gods, in the time that Antigone was written, they were extremely important in everyone's lives and the decisions they had to make. However, I don't think that we're like this today. In my modern adaptation, I could maybe include a conscience for the character, a type of inside voice that could help them through their decisions. I feel that nowadays we are much more of do what you feel is right and not follow what the gods think. With regards to the chorus, they could maybe be replaced by the citizen of the city wherever the adaptation would take place. These people would act as extra information from the outside world in order to guide the characters through the rest of the play, just as the chorus did in Antigone. Who it is. For the tragic side of things, I wanted my adaptation to remain tragic for both of the characters. However, I felt that death was a little too harsh for the type of ending I envisioned. So my ending would probably finish with the current owner deciding not to sell, but still tearing down the bungalow. In doing so, I would want the characters to realize that rather than fighting for each one of their causes, they should have focused on what remained important. This would recreate the feeling of regret that both Creon and Antigone felt near the end of the play. In the end, my main goal was getting the themes I felt were most important in the play, but making them a little more relatable to today's society. Of course, I didn't actually create a movie or play since that was not the goal of the assignment, but I think I got enough information out in a realistic enough way for someone to realize how the adaptation would play out. Thanks for listening.